So hello everyone and welcome back to another video of F1 2019 gameplay. Today we are going to test out each of the classic cars in time trial using the balanced setup as well around, of course, a classic track itself. It's been on the calendar for ages. It's of course Canada. So yes, firstly of all, apologies for the slight lack of uploads to the channel. I have been once again preparing Final Fantasy for release. Obviously, I've had to also try and reinstall my F1 game because it wouldn't update to 1.07. So hopefully, I should get around to doing it also, and then also hope to get episode 11 of Career Mode updated as well. But yes. We're going to start then. Let's get started. Not in the car on screen now, in the Renault. There will be a lap in the comparison at the end of the video. But with 1972 Lotus 72D, and oh my goodness grief, the acceleration! We're doing 140 miles an hour down the main straight. That is so well done. The main, I'll call it the main straight, and the other one the back straight, but goodness grief. But look at the steering wheel, it's a round steering, it's like you're getting a car. I think it had manual shifting, and look at the dial, it's an analog dial as well. I mean, to be fair, my car has a little mirrors, circle mirrors, and we need those mirrors back in the, oh good lord, we've lost time now. We've got very twitchy on the curb. Yes, this car, the mirrors look like they should come back. I mean, who wouldn't want to see circular mirrors again in Formula 1? Have like a retro. If we could have like a retro F1 season where we had circular mirrors, circular steering wheel, analog dials. Man, I'm saying this a manual gears, not the fladdy paddle thing, but manual gears with a clutch and a gear stick in an F1 car is what we need. We're topping out about 161 miles an hour, which is probably about the fastest you're going to get in 1972. But it hasn't been the best of laps, but it's going to be over 90 seconds, 132. Moving on now to 1976 Ferrari 312 T2. Oh my goodness grief! They've got the car. They've got everything. The car is red. I mean, apart from the mirrors, which are sort of black and oblong, nothing. But then you see the front wing. Is that it? And oh my goodness grief! What a Ferrari done! I'll tell you what it's like. It's those tin foil dinner trays you get in down Tesco. Is that what they used? I mean, no, it's Ferrari. They were. This is Ferrari when they were good, though. I don't know. Maybe it was lighter, so that's why they chose it. Probably didn't give them that much aero, but 1970 they only had James Hunt to compete against. But to be fair though, Niki Lauda, of course, the late Niki Lauda, this car's got his customization now on the side. I don't know if Codemasters has done a secret deal or not with whoever held the rights, but Niki Lauda's #1 and the Niki Lauda writing is on the side of this car. I haven't got a shoot to show you, but if you got the game, then go and check it out. It is there. It is now on the game. Come into this thing. Oh yes, don't cut the corner. Up to the line. Once again, this doesn't have much acceleration, but it will probably have more acceleration than the car that we're coming against now, which of course is only powered by a simple 4 Cosworth straight 6 engine, and with of course the late James Hunt behind it. This also had manual gears. A gear shift on the right hand side. It had of course a manual clock as well. It's got a windscreen as well. Not something that we really see. I mean, Formula 1 cars do have a very small windscreen, and then the halo coming out as well. But yes, 25.8 in the first sector. Let's go. Look at those mirrors, they've gone very 70s retro. At least for McLaren don't have a dinner silver bit of silver foil for their front wing. But look at those mirrors. That is this is definitely a 70 car. But then again, it was for the 70s, man. I mean, we all know that James Hunt was very well, let's just say he had lots of girlfriends, and that's all I need to say. If you haven't seen Hunt, I recommend Hunt Rush, the film. I recommend you go and check it out. Although don't take it with a pinch of salt. Murray Walker said that they were not enemies, but actually the very best of friends. So yes, up to the line. It's actually slower than the Ferrari because, of course, it's only got a straight 6 engine opposed to the Ferrari, which I can't remember what was in the back of the Ferrari. Now, next car up will be a car that you will probably have heard about if you watched the recent series of Top Gear, because of course it was in the final episode. Review was out about Colin Chapman, who once again they got the retro circular mirrors. Don't know if that's Colin Chapman being having circular mirrors or not. But anyway, on to Lotus, of course. We all love Lotus. It's sad that they're not in Formula 1 these days, but they are under Renault, and yet they're not. I think we could see them under a separate entity back on the black and gold car one day. But anyway, this car, for those of you who haven't seen the final episode of Top Gear, should you be interested about this car, then there is a segment on there. This car was the first car ever to have ground effects, so a major improvement in aerodynamics, which is why you're going to see a big improvement in times. Hence why this car actually went on to win the World Championship with Mario Andretti. It's not like nowadays where more aero parts are more standardised. Back then, the rule books were nothing, and I think that's what F1 needs to do. Again, just chuck out the rule book, say, look, as long as the car is safe, you can do whatever. You can have whatever engine you want in the back. You can have whatever engine high supply. But anyway, that's just my part. You can see there we shaved off almost 4 seconds. But unfortunately, though, it didn't. Lotus's legacy didn't last. Ronnie Pearson, of course, the late Ronnie Pearson, who sadly died as well. Although their legacy will last as having the first ground effect car, which of course ground effects have been reconsidered for 2021. They weren't competitive in 1979. We have Ferrari, I think, won the World Championship, which, if I'm not mistaken, was with Jody Scheckter of South Africa at the time. The only man from South Africa to ever win the World Championship. In actual fact, probably the last racer we're going to have from South Africa. Because of course we need to go back to Kyle Army, because South Africa, I know it's Johannesburg, and of course Johannesburg is pretty much the most dangerous place on Earth, but as long as they had the right security, I don't see why not. Johannesburg, go back to Kyle Army for the South African Grand Prix. But you can see that we're now going to beat this. Let's see if we can beat the 79's time, because of course we have unlike Lotus, we don't have the Ford engine in the back of the Cosworth, so the Ferrari engine is definitely faster than that. Excuse me. Up to the line, and what is that going to be? 126.9. So yeah, we're a little bit seconds faster. That's due to the engine. Moving on now to the most bonkers season F1 has ever had. 1982. This was the year where John Watson started doing his Top Gear from the years. Niki Lauda drove for McLaren as his teammate. We had the man who liked to crash, Andrea De Cesaris, taking pole for Alfa Romeo. along with his teammate Bruno Giacomelli. We had the introduction of turbos as well, with the likes of Ferrari, Brabham with their I think it was BMW, and Renault getting turbos. Alan Prost, of course, drove for Renault and won two races, the only person to win back-to-back races. And it was so crazy that we even had 11 winners in 16 races. The only time we've ever come close to beating that was in 2012, with 8 winners in that season, but 11 winners in 16 races, quite bonkers. We had a race in Las Vegas, a race at Long Beach. For me, that is the best season of all. Monaco was pretty crazy, considering the fact we didn't know who was going to win on the last lap, and it was won by Keke Rosberg as well. But yeah, this car was only really known for John Watson's Top Gear from the rear, getting first, and he did it the same again in 1983. But yes, later on, 1988 now, obviously times are... Oh my goodness grief. Coke Masters! What have you done to the tyres? Those tyres should not be that large. I think something's gone wrong with the tyres for this game. They need to fix it. Codemasters, if you're watching, or somebody at Codemasters are watching, then please fix the tyres, because they are not. I don't think they should be that size. If I'm mistaken, then let me know in the comments below. But they look a bit off to me. But yes, 1988. This was before Senna and Prost had their little squabble in 1989 at Japan. This was Senna's first ever victory for McLaren, and what a car! We've now got to say, you can see that. Look at that! Look at the dashboard! Look at that! A red! Oh my goodness grief! This car is the gating. If I said if James Hunt's McLaren were with the times, 76 they had a 70s McLaren, and now we've got an 80s McLaren now, an 88 with the red line. Oh, we need that back. Somebody bring that back. We could do that. The other dash isn't that great, but it's just about the acceleration. That accelerator. Of course, we have now the 1990 McLaren, which has got this sort of yellow thing, which isn't up further red line in a row. This was the year after Prost and Senna were out. Prost left McLaren for Ferrari. He eventually actually got fired from Ferrari. I think at the time at Ferrari as well, Prost's teammate was, of course, Nigel Mansell, who didn't do anything, went back to Williams and then won the World Championship in '92. But yes, to unlock this car, by the way, you need to have the Legends edition of the game, and you need to complete 3 Legends scenario. And you're going to get to unlock this and the Ferrari F190 car. So I should mention that, just in case you're wanting to replicate this, see what you can do. You need to have those 2 things to be able to race, to enter this in time. I presume also racing Grand Prix mode as well. So yes, we all know about we should all know about the rivalry between Senna and Prost. 1990 was the year that Senna took out Prost at turn 1. Although he didn't admit it at the time, he did admit it later on. But 121. And it's now also to line it up against Prost's Ferrari, which of course he didn't get to last long with Ferrari. Oh my goodness grief! I think what we need now is the red line that was in the 88 Ferrari, 88 McLaren rather, and then also the numbers from this 90 Ferrari. At least they've got rid of the silver foil from the front wing Ferrari. It's now actually I don't know, metal, whatever, plastic, whether they decided to use in 1990. not so fan of the rev counter. The rev counter from the 88 McLaren and the speedo and gear numbering from the 1990 Ferrari and will be done. So yes, I'm pretty sure I mentioned that Mansell was Prost's teammate at the time. Ferrari wasn't very successful. This wasn't a very good time for Ferrari. They hadn't won a lot in a long time. It's 79 Drivers' Championship, 82 of course. They somehow, 82 was bonkers, so anybody could have won. They really needed to consolidate in there at 121 again, as we'd expect. And of course, 1991, I think Prost had moved to Williams. Well, I think 91 actually, Prost was still at Ferrari and he got sacked in the Australian Grand Prix in 91. 1991 Australian Grand Prix, by the way, is the shortest Grand Prix we've ever had. I think they got 4 laps in or something like that, something ridiculous. They gave half points. I think Keke Rosberg won in his, I can't remember who won. I think it was I'm pretty sure Keke Rosberg won in his last race. As you can see here, we got simplified front wing. Rev counter now, as I can't. It's just getting more boring. Again, I think this car's not being scaled correctly because the tyres look a little bit too big and the car a little bit too small. I don't know if that's just the T-cam position or not, but we're not into the V10 era, by the way. These are still, I think these are still they're either V6, I think they're V6 turbos, but the turbos eventually got banned. And we're about to enter the V10 era in just a moment, because of course, I think turbos actually got banned. So, 1992, the year Nigel Mansell won from Birmingham. Oh my goodness, listen to that engine. It's glorious. We need V10s back. So yes, I didn't realise this car's a V10, but it is. It's the year Nigel Mansell won. It's also the classic Williams yellow and blue Bolivia with the Canon sponsorship. Iconic livery that Williams had in the late 80s and early 90s before their sponsorship changed. When they won in 82 at Rosberg, they actually had a green and white car down in there. Again, I think the tyres are slightly too big, but yes, down the main burn back straight, 180 miles an hour comfortably in this car. Of course, this is a 90, so the 200 mile an hour barrier's been broken now. We also are seeing Michael Schumacher coming across in the Benetton, which we'd love to see one of the Benettons, either 94 or 95, come in. We're moving to another now V10 with the Williams Williams 96, sort of a change of livery now, of course, change of cars as well. Because I got these sort of flat engines. The cars were lower, and sort of source of the depth of Ayrton Senna and Roland Ratzenberger at 94 had implemented some quite strategic changes, such as a speed limiter in the pit lane. Never used to have a speed limiter in the pit lane until after 1994. Yes, most cars now are having V10s put in the back. I think Ferrari was still a V12. We actually had the 95 Ferrari in last year's game. That's been removed. That was a V12. yes, it sounds lovely. We should have V10s back in Formula 1. Get rid of the V6s, put V10s back in, and make them sound like this. Easily, this car is easily fast. 118 as well, not too bad for the 90s. Final car from the 90s is a car that every single Finnish man from Finland will know about, because of course it is of course the championship winning car of Mika Hakkinen. Now, I'm that old that I do remember Mika Hakkinen. We've got groove tyres as well. Yes, groove tyres. This was the year of refueling. This is the year of refueling groove tyres and V10s. Mika Hakkinen, of course, he took a sabbatical. We're still waiting for him to come back now. It's coming up to 20 years almost since he took a sabbatical in 2001. Yes, one thing I don't like is the GUI they're using. I don't think they should have the same GUI Codemasters, the MFD for these late new closer classic cars to the present day. They've literally got one from the 1996 Williams. It's got its own MFD now. But yeah, they shouldn't have the standard one for any classic car. They should just make one up. Whatever it is. But quick lap, 1:18.9, so slower than the excuse me, the 96 Williams. The F2002 Ferrari has also been removed from this year's game. So we're going to move on to the 2003 Williams, another V10. This was the era, of course, when Williams were powered by BMW. They were very successful. Partnership this was very successful. They were up there. It was then, if it's like back in 2003, they were like the three best teams. Ferrari, as we know, got Ferrari, Red Bull and Mercedes. In 2003 it was Williams, Ferrari and McLaren. Of course, Williams drivers back then were Juan Pablo Montoya and Ralf Schumacher, of course, who went on to drive for Toyota and then left. His son is, of course, David Schumacher, who was, of course, the cousin of Mick Schumacher. So both of them are coming through the junior formulas. We'd love to see Schumacher against Schumacher again in the future. But yes, this car's got a V10. We're at the height of V10 power, and no surprise there, it's a 1:15.5. It's time now to move on to the car that Michael Schumacher was most dominant in, the 2004 Ferrari. He won, I think, like 17 or 18 of the 19 races this year. In this car saw the debut. Oh, lovely sound there. Again, V10s need to become brought back. Codemasters, not Codemasters F1. Yes, so this was the year that we saw Bahrain get introduced, and China were on the calendar for the first time. So that's how long those two tracks have been on the calendar. Yes, this car lacks aero. Since ground effects got banned, but it is very fast. It's very fast and straight line. Look at this. We're going to break 200 miles an hour easily. 201 miles an hour. I think that is definitely faster. I'll show you at the end of the video, but that's definitely pretty sure that's faster than a modern day car, even with DRS. And of course, in 2006, F1 took the stupid decision to move from V10s to V8s. And oh my goodness, the sound is dreadful. Somehow, Fernando Alonso won the last era of V10 and the first of the V8 era. So yes, this is the second of Fernando Alonso's winning cars alongside his teammate Giancarlo Fisichella. Again, I remember all of these cars that we are going to see from pretty much now on, because I lived through winning. I watched them all. That's how long I've watched Formula 1 for a very long time, since the late 90s. But since I was 2. But yes, you can see here the straight line speed is absolutely woeful. Look, the understeer again is still not there. The car has some sort of got these twiggy bits, which I don't get why it's got these twiggy bits on. But yes, so we still got roof tyres and refueling at this point, but you can see they're only 189, so we're clearly 12 miles an hour down on what the V10s were doing. You can see here it's 2 seconds slower than the V10s, which is why Schumacher and Bala, half of these tracks have still got Schumacher and Balacara as their first line. Kimi Raikkonen's winning 2007 Ferrari now. 2007 will of course be remembered for the era that Ron Dennis fell out with Fernando Alonso, and of course that McLaren publicly supported Lewis Hamilton. In actual fact, also we had F1 Spygate, because of course it turned out that McLaren had actually been spying on Ferrari. So yes, but Kimi Raikkonen kept his cool. There was lots of controversy for this year, including Hungary, where Alonso blocked Hamilton in the pits, and then of course there was China in the pit lane when Hamilton went off into the gravel. There never used to be tarmac in, so you're going into the pit lane and there's a 90-degree left. There used to be gravel on that section, and now of course it's just a straight off tarmac run on. But there used to be gravel where Hamilton got beached there and retired back in 2007, and really cost him the championship. Raikkonen won by 1 point in a car that really wasn't that great, to be honest. Won 17-0, so it's an improvement. And of course Hamilton went on to win his first World Championship the following year, beating Massa purely because of Timo Glock. And yes, I lived through the famous "Is that Glock" line as well. We still got grooves, it's still sprouting stuff as well. I'm not too sure, but these V8s sound very much like F1 2013. Suspiciously like F1 20. They suspiciously like as if they copied the engines file from F1 2013 or F1 2010. It sounds like that era of car. But yes, of course, Hamilton had to contend. Alonso went back to Renault. This, of course, 2008 was the year of Crashgate, Singapore Grand Prix, where Nelson Piquet purposely crashed just because Renault told him, and Flavio Briatore got banned from F1. Simply because he told them to. Because it meant that a safety car meant that Fernando Alonso could go on, pit at the correct time, and go on to win the Grand Prix. 1:16.8, so getting faster then. Now we got the 2009 Brawn. This was when we had the rear ring diffuser. So 2009 was where we had it was 4 teams, I believe. It was Brawn, who was saved at the last minute by Ross Brawn. Richard Branson, of course, came along with his Virgin sponsorship. But this car, I love this car. Oh my goodness, I've invalidated the Malap. My bad. Because 2009 was one of the best seasons. Was the last great season we've had in Formula 1. Because since 2010, it's been not that great, to be honest. Yes, we had Brawn. It was literally the double rear diffuser thing, which was apparently a loophole in the regulations, which Brawn Toyota, Williams and Red Bull took advantage of. Hence why we saw, this was the year we saw the rise of Sebastian Vettel. He went and won his first races this year, as did Mark Webber, his teammate at the time. Subsequently also, Vettel actually was runner-up to Jenson Button this year. The other teams, Ferrari, were really bad. This is of course the year Felipe Massa had his accident. He wasn't really the same afterwards. And subsequently Ferrari had no choice but to sub in for Luca Badoer. Oh my goodness grief. And then they substituted for Giancarlo Fisichella after somehow he took pole in Belgium, and then Kimi Raikkonen overtook him, and then nobody else could be bothered to overtake Fisichella, so gave Force India a podium. Yes, you can see this car is actually quite fast. The aero side of this is getting 2010 Red Bull RB6, the car that eventually went on to win the World Championship. We had slick tyres back, refueling was banned, and this was the last year of Bridgestone as well before Pirelli took over. It's a V6, I'm not particularly a fan of it, to be honest, and it's just literally been copied from F1 2010, most of it. Again, I think that the slick tyre, again I think the wheels are a little bit too off. Yes, this was of course the year we Abu Dhabi was the last race, and not Brazil. Brazil was better as the last race. Abu Dhabi is a rubbish Grand Prix. It should be thrown off the calendar. Brazil should always be the last race of the year, because when it was the last race, you never knew what was going to happen in Brazil. It could rain, there could be Glock at the final corner, ready to overtake, give Hamilton. Vettel was actually there for Toro Rosso back in 2008 as well, causing problems. But yes, this car, is it going to be faster than the Brawn? No, I don't think it is actually. 2010 McLaren MP4-25 next. The car that Lewis Hamilton and Jenson Button, they weren't really that good. They were in it for the final round, but then they eventually lost out to the Ferrari, and the Ferraris of Alonso. Of course, Massa wasn't only just recovered from his head injury and really wasn't there. And this was, of course, the year they had Fernando is faster than you message to Massa, which really saw Massa's chances of ever winning the World Championship go downhill. Yes, through this section now, again, got a V8, so it doesn't really sound that great, to be honest. Although it's got better aero, slick tyres as well, which although the grooves do help, there isn't that really much difference in this game, or the grooves should be a faster. But yes, only 188 miles an hour, not 201 we saw from the Ferrari. Up to the line, 1:15.3. So it's still slower than the Brawn. The Brawn's doing good. Final class car before we go on to the current one, is the 2010 Ferrari, which of course was Fernando Alonso back in the race, and he could have won this year if it wasn't for Vittorio Petros Renault. But yes, I don't think I know why, and I can see why for Cody's decided to add these two cars, but they haven't added any game modes relating to these three cars. So they could have added a scenario. They could have let you rerun, as again scenario mode, let you rerun the 2010 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, see if you can win. If you're Hamilton, if you can win the World Championship, that's a very tough. Or if you're Alonso, if you're Webber or Vettel, see who can win if you can win. the World Championship, because only one of them could have won the World Championship. Vettel only won because Petrov slowed up Webber and Alonso so much that, and of course he cried like a girl. So at the finish line now, again slower than both of them. Now let's see what the 2019 car can do. Obviously we've got DRS and ERS in operation. Now neither of these two cars could have done. To be fair, we could have turned off ERS and DRS, but then of course these are the cars that are built to the regulations of the times. Whether or not we should just go out to more simpler cars, get rid of DRS, get rid of ERS, have more spectacular overtakes, even though that may be less overtakes, there won't be such simple overtakes. I don't know, more teams will have better racing, hopefully better racing in 2021, hopefully get more teams in, but yeah, so you can see I'm running the stock setup as opposed to my time that I set on 1:12.1 on with a setup. Is a different. You can see here now, so this is going to be the big test. Will DRS and ERS help us get the speed up? 201 is achievable. So with DRS and ERS, it's helping out the car. That's the line 1:12.7, so that's the improvement. Now we have the 2018 damps. Wanted to check out what Formula 2 could do as well. Obviously, 2019 cars are due any moment now, so hopefully that'll be in the next patch. But let's see where this places it, because of course, interesting to see how fast the Formula 2 cars are compared to the older Formula 1 cars. Whether it's faster than whether it's faster than a C3 category car, C2, or even faster than the C1. We'll have to wait and see. I'll pick the dams. They're all this. I only picked one. I picked the dams. Why not? Of course, this was recorded before the death of the founder of dams. I can't quite remember his name. I apologise. But tragic death. I'm sure that dams, of course, will be missing their founder. Surely missed at dams, at that team. They have been, especially also helping with Nissan as well in Formula E. So, but yes, you can see here 192 miles an hour, 192 miles an hour, which is actually faster than the V8 car. So that's the line 122. So yes, this is the full list. Obviously, the 2019 car is faster than just 1.8 seconds over the Ferrari 2004, which is the fastest classic car. The Brawn, though, is only 0.2 slower. So the Brawn is actually quite a good car. We got the 2010 Red Bull, 2010 McLaren, the 2003 Williams, and the 2010 Ferrari, all up there. Then we got the 2008 McLaren, 2007 Ferrari, and 2006 Renault, those V8 cars. And then the 92 Williams somehow is 10th, is the best of the 90s cars, even better than Mika Häkkinen's McLaren, and of course its 96 counterpart. And then of course you start seeing the 90s Ferrari, 91 McLaren, 90 Ferrari, the 1988 McLaren as well, sort of around that time, 121s. Then we got the Dams car, which is at 122, and then we got the sort of C3 category cars, 79 Ferrari ahead of the McLaren because I missed them that one. Then we got 78 Lotus, the 76 Ferrari, and the 76 McLaren. And slowest of all is the 72 Lotus. So yes, that is going to round off this video. I know it's been a bit of a long one, but hopefully you've enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and you see more F1 2019 videos and when they come out. Until the next video, next time, take care. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye.